Hey, Owamie here, and I have some great news. If you have a YouTube channel or a business and you would like to get some affordable advertisement, I offer those services. Follow the instructions on your screen right now and say hello to some new traffic. Now let's get back to the video. Hi ninjas, how are you guys doing? It's a glow. I'm Nichwazoro, aka Miss Focal, bringing back for our entertainment. If it's the first time joining me, most definitely welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you, and don't forget, follow me on Instagram. It's at boldly Owamie. Now I know that this week, I'm spoiling you guys rotten, okay? And that is because last week I know I stuffed you guys, so we're feeling better and we're going to do this. So this particular video is one that I'm definitely sure there's gonna be YouTube videos made from this one, and I don't give a focal. I absolutely don't, and that is okay. And honestly, I have a message that I want to give you guys. Just don't do. So basically, my ninjas, the reason why I'm even doing this story time or this video is because of it is public knowledge. It is public knowledge in Free State. The only difference is that the thing that people know that side is absolute false. They got false information, and I'm someone that you guys, I had just told myself that I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what people think of me. And honestly, that is the truth. I don't really care. If for me to care about your opinion, I have to care about you. So, and most times people whose opinions don't matter in my life are those that I don't even care about. So that's fine. However, I just feel like I do have a platform, number one, and I can be able to use it to just basically put my truth out there. Number two, I know that like it does seem like all of a sudden anyone that feels like they want to vomit on YouTube, they just want to make sure that they include Owamie. And the last thing I want is for something like this to come out via like Mugozi channels. Girl, no, like they won't do me like that. I will tell my story and I will tell the truth, and whatever comes after that, like, you know, it is what it is. So basically, my ninjas, the reason why I'm talking about this story is because Mr. B already told everyone back in Free State. Not only that, he said it in my presence as well. So obviously, even when word came back to me to say, oh, this is what is being said about you, to say this is what happened, obviously I believed it because some of the stuff he did say in my presence. So basically, you guys, yes, I did see that in one of my videos that I had made, someone asked like, Owamie, are you sure you didn't pay for your own Lobola? And I just laughed. Because I was like, yes, girl, I did. I paid for my own Lobola. I'm not proud. I am not proud. I would not advise whatsoever. So let's go ahead and get into the story on what basically happened. So guys, I met Mr. B a long time ago. We're still in varsity. At that time, you guys, like we didn't have much, but we were trying. So I was still a nursing student, and I was earning, I think it was about 6,000. It was back then, so that was a lot of money. You know, and he was basically working in Medunsa, and he was working at the IT division. So he was earning, I think it was about 2.5 at that time. However, he did have a lot of debts. So with him having a lot of debts, you guys, like when we moved in together, I basically just said, you know what, since I didn't have a single date when I met Mr. B. I was so scared of skoloto, like very much. But then when I met him, somehow, girl, I got so brave. I went in and I took loans and I closed his accounts, right? And I'm just like, girl, what if I just done that and this guy just dumped me like that? Like, guys, no matter how in love you are, please don't be stupid. Use your head. Yeah. So that was something that he didn't even ask me to do, honestly. I had decided to do that because I realized that if I take a bulk, because these debts were not really made like too much, but for the salary that he was getting, they were a lot, right? So he would end up not really having money. So for me, I had thought that if you have like 5 debts, you pay more than if you have one big debt. So the 5 small debts can amount to 100,000, not even 100,000. That's a huge amount. They can amount to 10,000, right? But then if you take a 10,000 rand loan and you have got deposits at 10,000 in different places, the monthly installment when you calculate and add in different places would be more than if you just have one 10,000. I don't know if that's how it still works. Right now, you guys know I prefer to just buy things cash, so I don't really have deposits. Like the debt I have is my car. That's it. So okay, that is fine. I did that for him. So guys, I really did fall in love with him. He made me feel safe. He was very understanding, and I felt like he really got me. And he was just, guys, he was my rock. He was my everything. He was my pillar. I will never deny the fact that I loved that man with my everything. So 2013, my mom passed. After my mom passed away, we basically things just started going wrong. Not to say wrong, but I was suffering from depression, so things were just not going well. Finances, I left school. It was crazy, you guys, because I was in so much pain. I really just wasn't coping. And Mr. B was very supportive in terms of like me just leaving nursing and staying home, or I'll see what else to do, which I obviously now know and understand that it was because he personally just wanted me to be a stay-at-home wife. And I guess it's something that he never communicated from the beginning, right? So I obviously left, and at that time, I remember when my baby sister fell pregnant. That was when we basically had a fallout with my dad. So I'd say after my mom passed, maybe about 6 months after my mother passed away. Was it even 6 months? I doubt it was even 6 months. Maybe 5, somewhere there, 4, 5, 6. We had a fallout, and we didn't speak to our dad, you guys, for 5 years, right? So at that time, we didn't have a mother, we didn't have a father, we didn't have a home. So yeah, that's some real shit that I ain't talking about that. But life was very difficult, and through it all, Mr. B stood by me. We had to take in my younger sister, who's Ray's mom. And honestly, I will not lie, you guys. What I will give to him is the fact that I did see this man try everything. Even when things were really, really difficult. Like, he really, really tried. And the biggest problem in our life was always finances, right? Guys, I can say everything, but I will not lie to you guys. This man tried his level best. I remember, like, he would wake up, he would go to work, he would take care of me, he would take care of my sisters. And I think that is the reason why I got so attached to him, that I don't even know how to say this. Like, this man was my everything. And so when that situation happened, like, the way that he was there for me, the way that he was there for my sisters, honestly, just, he was there financially. Remember, I wasn't working because I was battling depression and a lot was just going on. So he really held it down. There was a time that I was not even working, and he was basically the one supporting us. And as difficult as it was, he would always try and do his best and his level best. Every single cent that he would work, Lord knows that it would come home. And then Ray was born, helped take care of Ray. Yes, there was extra money that came on the side, but it was just not enough. Number one, we had the security because we had a man in the house. He was definitely a loving man, and I remember, like, he would take care of Ray as if Ray was his own child. Like, he was just extraordinary. I won't even lie. That's the husband I fell in love with. So everything obviously went on, and you guys know the story. We struggled. We couldn't afford now to, like, raise Ray this side, so we had to send them to Venda with my sister. And then after that, he lost his job, went to Free State. And then when we went to Free State, we basically we were staying with his aunt in an RDP. Like, when I think about things like that, you guys, like, it just shows me far, okay? We come far. And then after that, like, you know, we then moved in with his parents. And then that was when my channel went viral and I got my first paycheck September, which I think it was 23,000 rands or something, which was a crazy load. Even now, that's still a lot of money. And then after that, the same September, he also got a job. And then after he got a job, you guys, his biggest dream, this man, was to lobola me, honestly. Because my siblings, my step siblings, had been married, not only just lobola, they also had like the other one had sort of like a blessing party, but the other one that is my age had a white wedding. And so it was always like a thing for him that he wanted to go home and lobola me. Honestly, for me at that moment, I wasn't even speaking to my father. The whole family, I just had a lot of resentment towards everyone. You know, we had struggled for so long and now things were starting to go well. And here comes, you know, Mr. B, and Mr. B wants to go to Venda to actually lobola. And I was just not understanding, like, why do you have to get money there? Like, we can use this money for something else, you know? And so at that time, we had not even bought the car. So you guys know when you're working in government, they will give you like 3 months salary. So because he had started work mid-September, they gave him half of September and then October, November, December. So he knew that December is going to get like 3 months worth of salary. So for 3 months, they don't pay you, and then they pay you like, it's a lot when they pay you. So I remember he basically went, because at that time we were still staying with his parents. He did go to his parents, and when he went to his parents, he basically said to them that, hey, we had sat down with Owamie, or with Tembu, because that's how they called me. At December, I would like to go to Venda and find out how much lobola is going to be. So he was basically asking for permission from his dad and his mom that, you know, he would like to go and pay lobola. It was honestly his wish. Like, mind you guys, before he even got paid, that was what he really wanted. Me and him, you guys, we had spoken about it, and I was just not comfortable. I was not ready to go back home. I was not ready to just have to face the family. I still had a lot of resentment at that time. So, you know, when he went and spoke to his parents were like, well, call Tembu so that you guys can come. Okay, so I go there and I see it. When he went to talk to them, I didn't even know about it, that he was going to talk to them about it. So when I sat there, you guys, like, here comes the parents, they're basically saying that you guys are too young to make such decisions. At that moment, you guys, like, we were 27. But we were too young to make such decisions, like he wants to go and pay lobola after we'd been staying together for like 7 years or something, like. But anyway, I had my reasons why I didn't want to go for the lobola, but they had their own reasons. So I honestly didn't even fight or anything. But then, you know, Mr. B spoke to them and he was saying that he and I would like to do it December. So he was asking that his father will go with him. His father basically said that not December, he's not going to get time. He will have to take leave. I think he said April. Now, mind you, he's a nurse, so he works like 7 days in, 7 days out. A full week you are at home. Of course, it's not impossible for you to go to Venda, and because going to Venda, it would be you go today, you arrive, you do the lobola negotiations, the following day you come back. But he didn't want to go to my home, you guys, at all. That's what I saw. I wasn't bothered because I also didn't want to go there. But I did see that it had really bombed Mr. B out. And I told him, no, don't worry, April, I'm sure he's going to do the things and stuff. So after that, you guys know that in November, end of November, that was when they basically kicked us out. And then we went and rented a back room. So when we went to the back room, that was when he decided that now, he has the power, so he can be able to like go to Venda and do everything and this and this. But again, as I'm saying, guys, I was really just not comfortable. So I kept on finding reasons. No, we need to do this. So we took the money that was there and then we added the other money and whatnot. And then we bought a car. And then obviously now there was no money. I was like, at least we have a car that will travel. Like we will use the car to go to Vietnam, because what will we use? So he understood. So we had to now wait until June. And then June of 2018, that was when his uncle, his uncle's wife and Rakadi, they went to Venda to basically like hear how much is Lobola going to be. So when they got there, you guys, they did get fined. My dad fined them like a lot because he had stayed with me for a while. And that during my mother's funeral, the time that my mother-in-law went home, she had basically just, told my father that no, they're gonna come and, soon they'll be here to marry, what. She's saying those stuff, she doesn't even have the money to do those stuff. So my father was pissed, like in terms of why did she lie? And I had not told my father that, there was a problem. Like in terms of this side, we had even been kicked out. Again, as I'm saying, we really didn't have a relationship like that. It was just that thing of, okay, I'm here. Honestly, I was doing it for Mr. B because I knew that's something that he really, really wanted. So I was just really being a supportive wife at that moment. And then so, when they came, obviously, when we came back to Free State, I then calculated and realized that for transport, he had used like 5,000 rands to go to Venda and come back. Because number one, when a car is carrying a load, it chows more petrol. So the car was like fully packed. And the uncle's wife, like she was really big, you guys. So I'm also big, and then the only person that was skinny is Rakadi at the back, and then Malume in front, and then Mr. B was also big. Like that car was just, petrol. So also calculating like the toll gates and stuff, we're using about 5,000 something just on petrol and toll gates to go to Venda and come back. So in Venda, obviously they had paid the penalty money that I don't know if it's or whatever. They paid it all in full because my father was like, before you pay in full, I won't tell you the price. And so, he basically paid. And I remember that time, like, he emptied the bank account. Like, there was nothing, girl. The struggle was real. And then after that, we came back. So when we came back, he wanted to go and pay Lobola December, right? And so, okay, that is fine. December, basically what happened was that I looked at it and, he was basically saying that he's gonna go and pay like a portion of the money and then he will pay another portion another time. So I was looking at it and I'm like, to go to Venice like 5,000 rands. So he will spend 5,000, drop whatever amount that he has over there and then come back and then save again. And then he has to spend another 5,000 on transport and then drop another money. Because mind you guys, 5,000, the 5,000 for transport is not really like put in, like it's not part of the Lobola. That's your expense, Jibubu. And no one was actually helping him, no one at all. And so, I had some money and of course I decided that, hey, I was the one that actually like was talking to him to say that, honey, like, why don't I borrow you this money? And then when you go there, you can pay and you can finish. And then obviously, when you come back, you would then, the money that you were going to give the second time, you'll give me. And then obviously, like, then you'll have saved on petrol. So I was obviously doing that because number one, we're already staying together. Number two, this man financially, guys, had helped like so much. I don't know where we would have been for the 5 years that we were honestly like, we were just under his shadow. And so for me, you guys, I didn't even see my money as my money. I saw everything as ours. We built everything together and everything like that. And I think that's the biggest mistake that I did. That even though I basically loved him and I understood, I should not have interfered when it came to the Lobola. I should not have offered to help. I should not have done that just because I feel like that's something that a man has to do. So basically, you guys, that's what happened. And then, when he got money, he wanted to give me, but then it was the time that we had to finish the house. I took the money and I bought furniture. And so, he obviously was just like, no, like, this is for us. Like, that money was yours. So I need to give you that money, which he had promised me that he was going to give me, obviously, until he cheated. And then now he started refusing to give me my money. So, which means that I basically married myself because I didn't get a cent from all that money that I had given him. And so my advice honestly is just that thing to say that, guys, don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. At first, my heart was very painful. But wow, I made it myself because the money that I gave him was a lot. It was a lot. I think that from the Lobola, he only added 15,000. So imagine, like, the whole chunk was for me. So I honestly just was not 15, maybe about 20. So yeah, I was really just, I was like, okay. I had to deal, you guys. I had to deal. I had to obviously adjust. At that time, it made perfect sense. Because of this person has been selfless as well in the past. But I just feel like when it comes to Lobola, I should have just let him do it. Even if he was gonna lose the 5,000, he should. I feel like I should have just let him do it. So no matter the reason, don't even borrow him. That's like that's the advice that I would give you. I just don't feel like it always ends well. But basically, you guys, so what actually happened was that this was a secret that only him and I knew from what I knew. That I had borrowed him the money. And so, mind you guys, he paid 2018. So the whole of 2019, we were doing really well. We were buying stuff and whatever, finishing the house and everything. And then 2020, that was, I would say around May, almost, yeah. After the cheating and I kicked him out, they basically, Urakadi like called me to say that I should come. They wanted to have a meeting. Malumekas was also there. And then also my sister-in-law from the family there. And then when we were sitting there, guys, when I tell you I have never been humiliated like that, like, child, I felt like the world should just go ahead and open and swallow me up. This man was pepperizing everything. And mind you, I know these people, like these people talk to everybody, okay? This man went to talk to them in my presence about our bedroom stuff. Like, guys, I have never seen what I saw in Free State. I have never. Child, I have never. So he was talking about the fact that now I had even asked to introduce toys. And yeah, guys, I was just, when you're shocked. And I'm just, girl, like when I tell you that this man undressed me in front of those people, I was just crying. And I hate that because I hate being vulnerable, especially like just in a space that I don't feel like safe and like people have the best intentions for me. But I was so humiliated. And then after that, he was like, yeah, ni mali yako ye Lobola, I'm gonna give you. So now these people knew Vele that I actually did give him money for Lobola. Now, one of my friends, I'd say, like, she's just someone that I know. She basically like told me, she was like, "Hey, girl, what is this that I'm hearing?" And I'm like, "What?" And so basically, Shbubu, in the audio, guys, I have an audio that is like almost 50 minutes of the one that Snakey recorded. You guys remember most. Honestly, for some while, I didn't listen to it because I was afraid that I was going to get hurt of what was being said. But a lot of stuff lied in that audio, like the mother was also talking about it to say that I forced her son to go marry me. I even gave him my money to go marry me. Like, it's like I forced him. Have you ever seen like someone being forced, like, go marry me? Yes, the money, go marry me. Like, as if this was not something that came from him. And I simply, guys, borrowed him just so that, number one, it wasn't even about pride. It wasn't even about saving face. It was honestly just because I saw that for him to go to Venda, it was costing like 5,000 rands, and that's a lot of money. And this is a man I love, and I was like, if I have some money on the side, why can I not? And I remember that I had actually just gotten a sponsor that paid. And so all that money, I basically just said, you know what, here's the money, you can go and you can. And it was fine. Honestly, it was fine. It was a secret between a husband and wife. Anyway, as a wife, you are supposed to support your husband. However, I don't believe that you're supposed to support your husband when it comes to lobola. And which is why I am not a fan of staying with a guy before he marries you. I don't think it's something that I'll do again. I mean, I don't know. We don't know where life is going to lead us, but I don't see me ever doing that again. But even if it is a matter of that happens, trust me, I don't care if this man will have to go to Venda a million times and spend 1 million on the road. He is not seeing a single kobo from me when it comes to like lobola. Okay, never. So basically, that is what happened. That is the truth of the story. And I wanted you guys to also just understand that yes, I'm telling you guys stuff like this, but there was a point where he was a really good man towards me. There was a point in my life, and the longest point even where he was someone that was my rock. He was someone that was caring. He was someone that really genuinely loved me. Also, I thought, and obviously like there were some manipulations that were happening in the background that I didn't know. But all I know is that at that time, all I saw was a loving, caring man that always put me and my needs first and took care of my sisters and, basically became a father to Ray. And for that, I will never forget him. He will always be a part of my life. That's my first husband. So, I guess he was preparing me for my real husband or for my second husband. But yeah, that's basically what happened. Honestly, I wouldn't advise. And this is something that even if people are going to come to my comment section and claim I'm stupid or whatever, some of you guys, like your parents are married, your mother paid, you don't know. I think that we should just get used to the society where we learn instead of just basically coming in and saying, well, I wouldn't, because at most times many people are doing it and they're just quiet about it. And so yeah, basically that's age boo boo. That's the advice I have. Help him at your own risk. That's I never got my money back. There's solution and a divorce. And so yeah, I mean it's crazy, but for me, it's not even about money, honestly. Money is money, we can work. But I feel like it was just also about the principle. Or like, you wouldn't even feel embarrassed to tell people that actually my wife gave me money and I went to marry her. Because it's not me that took this information out, it's him. And then people started talking about it in the wrong way. Because his mother also was talking about it like that. So I don't know where she got it. I don't know if she got it from the streets. But my best bet would be that her son told her. And yeah, she basically just felt like I was out there like, go marry me, go and marry me. Here's the money. Like, why would I do that when I didn't even want to go home? It was such a huge stress for me. Because it brought a lot of pain, it brought a lot of feelings and stuff. But yeah, that's basically what happened by ninjas. I know that this one probably someone was going to get it because in Free State, it do me lelenda. You go to Owamie, actually married herself. She forced him to marry her. Whilst I actually just, I borrowed him the money. It wasn't even give. I borrowed because I loved him and I didn't want him to basically lose a lot of money on the road. And honestly, at that time, it didn't even bother me. Even now, it doesn't bother me anymore. But at first, I feel like it bothered me because he had said that even though we're splitting, the Lobola money is going to give me. And then he ended up not giving me. And then I was like, okay. Ended up saying, no, you will have to go to the courthouse because that's not the only money. So is that one, and then there's other monies as well. And also when he left December, he left without paying stock fells that when the money came, we'd split. Honestly, that was very fair when it came to money and everything, but I guess he had a lot of resentments towards me. I don't know for what, but he had a lot of resentments, and so that happened, and that is fine. But basically, that is what happened. Don't do it. I don't care what the reason is. Girl, he might have one rent. Like, honestly, don't do it. let him suffer and struggle to actually like marry you, so that even tomorrow when he thinks of messing up or whatever, he has to know that he will have to work out of pocket for another wife. Because I feel like now with my ex, he didn't really have to work for his wife, because his wife worked for him and even paid the lobola. It is lesson learned. Honestly, I so you can choose to learn from your mistake, or you can actually choose to learn from other people's mistakes, like me. So yeah, basically that's what happened. I don't want the video to be too long, but yeah, that's what happened and how everything went down. Yes, girl. Yes. Anyway, I love you so much, my ninjas. Do not forget to thumbs up this video and obviously share, and I'll see you guys in my next upload. Bye, ninjas.